it was a voice vote, but you were comfortable you had the votes there? With some
Before I did
Republican
this?
support? Yeah.
I knew I had some Republican support. I don't think I knew I had as much as there was.
It's really getting more and more difficult not to support this legislation, and for us to be able to stand before the committee and say other states have taken this template and have enacted it into law because it brings more control to the process. And yet it also, our bill has not only been described as the most tightly controlled, but also the most patient-friendly bill out there.
Who's described it as the...
I'll tell you, at the 6th International Conference on Cannabinoid Therapy, the director of the Netherlands medical marijuana program, there they do provide cannabis through pharmacies, stood up in front of the entire assembly and said that the Tennessee bill was the most tightly controlled and patient-friendly legislation he'd ever seen. Again, the legislators in Washington modeled it. California decision makers are now looking at it because they acknowledge their program is essentially out of control. So.
I want to say something in response to Dr. Hensley's concerns. Medical cannabis has been used extensively in many other countries that we recognize as civilized with good medical care, all over Western Europe. There is abundant information about how to prescribe, the amounts, what diseases you use it for. Just because we don't personally have that information in this state doesn't mean it's not available. There is plenty of information out there that would increase the knowledge of physicians and patients and everyone. So the medical education should not be a problem.
In fact, nationwide, over 25,000 physicians have already recommended cannabis, and that's an abundant clinical experience with it. But again, the last thing I'd want any doctor or nurse to do is to become involved in a substance they're not themselves aware of. So.
Which is true of any other drug.
Yes.